Welcome to LandAcademy. This is the Cash Flow from Land show, where we show you how to buy unwanted vacant land and sell it for more on the internet. I'm Steve Butala.
I'm Jill DeWit.
We are your hosts. With over 15,000 completed transactions, we are the experts in this niche land flipping business.
We hold a drawing to win a free property every month. Enter to win by reviewing this show on iTunes and downloading our free ebook at LandAcademy.com. All right, let's get this show started.
Hey, Steve Butala here for LandAcademy. Welcome to the Cash Flow from Land show. In this episode, Jill and I talk about hiring the right office manager when the time is right for you. Jill, she saves us just about every day from some horrific thing. So our manager's name is Erin, and quite simply, we couldn't live without her, and I'm sure you agree. But before we get into all this and hiring the right people, let's take a question from a caller.
Okay. Julia from Minnesota called in and asked, can you apply your sending offers in the mail to farmland? Does it work as well?
So I think what she's saying is, we talk about sending offers to purchase in the mail for rural vacant land and houses and lots of different property types. Does it work for farmland too?
Absolutely.
Well, the honest answer is I've never done it, but it has to.
Mm-hmm. How could it not?
Right. So farmland, as I understand it, works as on a price per acre. Like everybody sits around with a cup of coffee and talks about the price per acre for a land. So we have some friends from Iowa that are snowbirds that are here right now, and every year they come back and I ask them what the price is, and it always moves up and down like a commodity. So I think it's somewhere around $9,000 an acre right now. So I would think if it's that standardized, that's the key. It's so standardized that it's $9,000. You send a bunch of letters out for $6,000 or $4,000 or $5,000 or some number below, retail value or what it would trade for. Yeah. Julia, if you ever do this or you need some help doing it, I love new stuff like this. So let me know. I'd be happy to send a mailer out with you and kind of see what happens. If you send it out in one tiny little area to 3 farmers, is it going to work? No.
Right.
But if you send a ton of it out, yeah, someone's going to call you back.
Maybe with a bunch of different sizes. Don't focus on one size. Maybe have more different sizes to reach more people at one time. That's what I would do. I would think about how many letters I want to go out, and I would maybe expand the property size or some of the criteria till I have that. Maybe I want to send out 1,000, for starters.
For this mailer, what I would do is I would pick the ownership. So I would pick, for the first thing I would sort for is all like-kind owners, and you're going to see that owner X, maybe it's a corporation, or farmer Z. They own like 22 parcels. Some are 100 acres, some are 40, some are whatever. And I would do a special mailer that consolidates all that through the data merge process. Mm-hmm. And so you would send a letter to Farmer X who owns 2,250 acres. You would say, I would not give a dollar amount. I would say, I would like to buy a property for $5,000, $5,000 an acre.
Oh, okay.
And just do it that way. What we do is per property kind of thing, which makes sense for our property type.
Exactly.
But I'll say this.
So that covers my thing because you have a variety of different sizes. Just do it per acre. I got it.
I'll say this. Here's the property types that I have a tremendous amount of experience sending these direct mail offers. Hospitals, nursing homes, assisted living facilities, apartment buildings, commercial office buildings, strip centers, vacant land, of course, single-family residential, and commercial industrial property. So I have not done farmland, but it worked for all
roll
those.
It in there.
The premise is not so much the product type. The premise is somebody gets a letter and something happened in their life 2 hours ago or 2 weeks ago, and they're like, heck yes, I want to sell this thing right now. That's the whole point of this. You can do it with cars and RVs and boats. I've done it with those too, and it works. Mm-hmm. There's a new program for us, Jill.
Exactly. Oh,
buy an RV for half price.
Good, because we're getting so much sleep now. Let's roll something else in there, Stephen.
How much work do we give ourselves?
Welcome to my world.
Here's what
I got a speech 2 days ago that said, you know what? We're going to get this stuff in the system. We're going to take a month off, catch our breath, work on all this stuff and everything. we already have 6 projects now on our plates. What was that speech about?
No,
that lasted 5 minutes.
Not a month, but we need to take some time off.
I don't mean,
we live so close to Mexico.
I don't mean take a month off. We never take that much time off, but at least no new products for that time. Let's just
I can shake on that.
Coast for a little bit. Yeah, we'll see how that goes.
I'm gonna,
you know what? I'm going to write it down next time you say that. I'm going to see how long it takes. Okay. That was 3 days.
This is a perfect parlay into our topic today.
Yes.
So we have we're making this show all about our awesome office managers. She's the first employee for LandAcademy. So all of our other people are land stay employees. We're our regular land business. And so forever we've been borrowing their time and pushing them over to LandAcademy and really stretching them thin. And so we hired this person and she's a dedicated LandAcademy person and she's just knocking it out of the park in my opinion.
She
so
is.
We decided to make a topic out of it. Like, do you think we waited too long to hire somebody? I do.
Well, I was thinking about, we did exactly we did it perfectly, I think. We use the same philosophy like leaving your day job. You don't want to ever leave your day job until you're making so much money on the side that you are now losing deals. And this is keeping you from really, knocking it out of the park. That's when we decided to bring her on full time and make this official and really start pushing that. When we were it was starting to negatively affect us, not having her position.
Yeah, my gosh, Jill, you're absolutely right. That's brilliant. That's a perfect way to look at it.
Thank you.
Where we were becoming inefficient.
Right.
Because
we didn't have the right
needed
person.
Help, support help. Yeah.
Right. For that position.
Yeah.
So, and I think if everyone goes through, even our members who are just starting out and doing deals and all that, don't start hiring help and everything just because you want your life to be easier. Push it. You want to push it. And you want to make sure the time is right. You don't want to ever hire and have to lay them off or, and don't quit your day job and go, I wasn't quite ready yet. You want to push it to the point where you are really know without a doubt that you need this person. You needed them 6 months ago. Then the time's right.
That's an excellent way to look at it. We have a show coming up called, the 2 ways to do a startup, or the 2 ways to start a company, and because I'm doing it because it's on the list because a lot of the people, not all of them, but a lot of our members they're starting little companies, and so there's 2 ways to do it. In the universe of any startup, I don't care if it's Coca-Cola or a car company or a software company or an app company or a real estate company, you can do it by going out and getting a bunch of money, like raising capital, the way that they do it on Wall Street and in Silicon Valley. Raise a bunch of capital, hire the experts, because you theoretically are an expert, and then get everything, all that, the I's dotted and the T's crossed, and you have perfect websites and space, and then launch it. Mm-hmm. Or you can do it the way Jill and I do it, and I think a lot of our members do it, is you can tape it all together like a god-awful mess, sleep under your desk for months at a time, just to see if anybody's interested in doing this stuff, and then when they are, and you're really pulling it off, then you go get the right resources and the whole thing. So you can raise capital or tape it together. That's a prelude to one of our other shows.
Well, what's so funny about that is we joke about me that this is one of the areas where we're on the same page. I'm often I'm how do I say this? I'm throwing myself under the bus because I am often instant gratification Jill.
Let me do that.
So,
I'll do that for you if you want.
Instant gratification Jill often wants things right now, today, looking pretty. Let's just do it. Spend the money. This is not one of those times that you do that.
That's right.
You want to really, and I sleep so well at night because we're on the same page, and that's how we are and how we teach everyone too. If you want to sleep as well as we do, be slow, be methodical. Don't get pretty cards and make your desk all nice in a beautiful office window. You need to be out of your garage for a while until you get going and have a big nest egg and everything's running smoothly, and then you just can't stand it anymore. Then
so you're worn out. You gotta hire somebody.
Yes,
or a virtual assistant or whatever.
That's the way to do it, and then you don't have to worry.
I'll tell you why, too. If you start borrowing money and giving away equity up front, it could be the greatest idea on the planet. I mean, some businesses you have to do that. Like if a real asset-intensive business like a manufacturing, you have to borrow money. There's no way you can sit around $20 million to start the thing. Some tech companies are like that. That has to be that way. But our business, where you're buying and selling property, or let's say you develop, we don't do this, but develop an app. That's a great example. Mm-hmm. You don't need a ton of money to start it. So use your own money, pay as you go, sleep under your desk until it gets huge.
Exactly. I was thinking about another thing funny about Erin. I'm so happy. She is such the right person for us. She is I want to say like a bulldog, man. I heard her say something about one of our employees that I overheard it. The comment was, he better be here. I don't even think it was that. I think it was like a worker or something that was negotiated that she was taking care of. And I heard her say that. And boy, I don't want to be on her bad side.
Can I tell you a funny story about me as a boss?
Yes.
So a lot of years ago, this kid came to me. Not kid. He's a young man who was just out of college, and he was working for me, and he was asking me for something like time off. I don't remember, but he was asking for something along the lines of a personal thing. It wasn't a work question. And my answer was, I'm a terrible boss because, I always, this is what I do. And he said, are you kidding me? You're a great boss. You let me do whatever I want. And it all dawned on me then that I'm a terrible boss, because you should never have a boss or a superior who lets you do what you want to do all the time.
No.
That's like a recipe for failure. So, yeah, Jill, I agree with Erin. I mean, you need a supervisor and somebody that's going to manage people and say no.
Uh-huh.
You and I both, respectfully, have a tough time saying no about a lot of stuff. We're good with these upfront ideas and all that, but mechanical stuff, I don't think so.
That's why she's a perfect for us, is because she keeps us in line too sometimes.
Exactly.
It's like I walk in and I'm like in goof off mode and she's like, get it done. You're holding me up. I'm like, okay, sorry. So.
Me too.
I'll have it to you right now. Hang on. So yeah,
these
we need to be pushed.
That,
everybody needs to be pushed sometimes.
These people that, these people that work for us, they don't have the balance sheets that we have. That's a lot of it too. Like they're still all excited and young and really, ready to make their own make their own money. Yeah. So we can horse around. We shouldn't be that much.
They see us roll up and I want to drive that.
Yeah.
So, got it.
And I guess that's a natural order of things, like with age.
It's good. And I remember this too, hiring the right person, the right office person. You've got to have the right, personality to fit versus just their tasks or their resume. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm,
remember you and I talked about this
There's
too.
There's got to be trust and skill set and problem solving. It's a tough office manager is a tough job. The title doesn't suggest that, but you have to be multi-talented,
right?
And use time well and all that stuff.
Yeah, at some point we're going to change her title because she's way more than an office manager.
She's a senior manager. That's her title.
What she is, exactly.
I made her a senior. I didn't tell you that.
Thank you. Well, good, because she does everything. She's overseeing all these side things now that are coming, because now the time is right, and she's the right person. She's good.
It wasn't too long ago that, remember this, like maybe 10 years ago, companies there was an IT person. Mm-hmm. So that's not the way it is anymore. There's like 25 little facets of IT. There's iOS people who know about apps. There's website HTML designers. There's back-end database people. It's all very specific, different talent. And, I think it'd be great to have a job where I just do one little thing.
Yeah.
Like I want to tell you a secret. When I was a kid, when I was in accounting, I'm like, you know what? I'm going to go back to Detroit. I'm going to get a union job working on an assembly line where I drill one screw in all day long for 45 years.
You don't even want to be a lead floor manager.
No, I want to make a pretty good living screwing that hole in on the side of a Dodge.
Oh my gosh. Well, what made you change your mind? It's not too late, first of all.
That's the job that you want for me too, isn't it?
No, I mean, we got this. Just kidding. I'm totally kidding.
No, and you're overworked, and you got 50 things to do on a to-do list. You just want to screw the hole in.
I get that. Mindlessly happy doing that. I get.
No, in a roundabout way, I'm singing praise to people who are in management positions like that, or in administrative multitasking positions. That's what I'm doing. Mm-hmm. So I don't think you should hire somebody too quick, just like you said. But I do think there's really task-specific VAs out there that are. We use them for IT all the time. Absolutely.
Even that, though, you got to find the right person.
And it's expensive.
There could be a ding-dongs, and you can't trust them. They're not in your office.
Oh, my God.
You're paying for work that's substandard because we've been through all that stuff. You have to sift through to find the right one.
My sift through rate on VAs is 5 to 1.
Okay.
No one talks about this.
It's
5 to 1.
I thought it was higher.
My sift through rate for full-time employees, what I almost always do is hire with one temp agency. I work with this one person. My sift through rate is 4 to 1. I have to have 4 temps before I actually hire somebody that works out.
Right. But the VA 5 to 1, that's a really good number.
We should talk about this more, Jill, because I think people hire somebody and they expect all this stuff, and 2 weeks later it's not working out, and then they just say it's okay, I'm going to make this work.
No.
You can't be too fast to get that person out of your office. They're going to cause problems.
And just because they look good on paper doesn't mean they're going to be good in your office. So we had remember that girl that we almost hired a couple months ago. On paper was fantastic. And she was really, really nice. I mean, she was really sweet, but something was missing. It was something, you know what it was? I know what it was.
She just didn't fit in here.
She didn't have the drive, I think. She was a really nice person. Resume on paper was fantastic, but we needed a killer drive, going to get stuff done, solve problems. I did not see her solving her own problems. That's it. She would, I can see her constantly. It was funny is we started to hire her and we slept on it one night and said, oh no, this is not going to work.
Right.
And had to undo it all. So, but, even on paper, you got to meet them and make sure. And and I love the way that we do now for a lot of things using a temp agency is, you spend a lot more money going through a temp agency.
Yeah, but you save so much in the end.
In the end, it's
That's what cracks me up. Like we have a lot of students who they're just a little bit gun shy about spending money on a mailer along these lines. And so I spend a lot of time doing videos and spreadsheets saying you're really saving a ton of money. If you want to do this, it costs money. I think that's what they're really against. It just costs money.
Right. But it doesn't. I'm sorry. I'm going to argue that it really doesn't, because I think I'm saving money and sending out my own mail and licking my own things and putting my own stamps on it. I don't have a bulk mail license permit.
Well, let me put it to you this way.
I can't get I can't get the whole process done as cheaply.
There's a new student X, who here's his choice. He signs up with our stuff and he learns all about it. And then he says, all right, I can go to the MLS. I can choose. It doesn't cost me $1 to do this, by the way. Or I can drive for $, which doesn't cost me $1, except for tiny little incidental stuff. Or I can do it your way, Steve and Jill, and it's going to cost me $500 to send out a ton of mailers. So one way costs me nothing, and one way costs me $500. I'm going to do the cost me nothing way.
But your time.
And it's the silliest decision. Silliest and worst decision ever.
That's what I think too. When I say just your time, I mean, how long is it going to take you driving around to come up with 100 properties? What if you spent a whole week to come up with 100 properties when you could have spent 4 hours and canvassed the whole neighborhood and sent 3,000 letters?
And the people that respond are ready to go.
Right.
You got a ready-made deal that you chose.
Exactly.
Not the market didn't choose it for you. Mm-hmm. So anyway, my point is I can see how people would say, I want the free one. I've done this before. And there's no reason I should choose a free one. Not in real estate, but like software and stuff.
Yes.
I am famous for making bad software decisions.
Oh my goodness. Did we talk about tape together?
We're rectifying that. We're rectifying that.
Yes, we are.
Having 22 little free software programs running in the background of your computer or running Microsoft Exchange for money. Exchange is probably better.
Exactly.
Jill pressured me, and that's how this all ended in this way.
It was a good call.
Hey, join us in another episode where Jill and I discuss your all-important success in real estate investment and in life. I honestly can't imagine our life without Erin as a manager here.
I know.
She hasn't even been here that long.
No, she's been.
What do we do without her?
I don't know. Yeah.
You're thinking of seriously thinking about it.
I know. I don't want to think about it.
The truth is a lot of this crap fell back on Jill.
Do you know what? She can never hear this show because she has well, here's the thing. Here's why she can't hear this show. And she doesn't listen to these anyway. She's too busy. But
that's excellent. No one listens to these.
We so appreciate her. If she came to us tomorrow and said, I got a better offer, we would match her up the offer because we can't get by without her. And I don't want her to know that. I don't think
she would anyway. She's really loyal. That loyalty is one of the traits that you need with that too. Loyalty, trust. I mean, I reeled through them before, but she's got them all, it seems like. I mean, I'm sure it's going to all end up fireball tragedy.
No, it's not.
But between now and that time, it's going to be awesome.
No, it's not.
Like marriage.
She's long haul, and I see that, and I'm happy with that. You and I are going to be, it's going to be 10 years from now. We're going to be off doing who knows what, and Erin's going to be still here running everything that we need. And I think it's perfect.
You know what? Actually, Jill, honestly, I really, that's how I see this too. I see us at some point doing this show or some version of it, but everything else being managed in LandAcademy I'm talking about. Because we got Land Stay to that point. It is to that point. That's the only reason we can do this silliness. So I'm sure LandAcademy will get to that point too. Yes. Let's go buy some property.
We hold a drawing to win a free property every month. Enter to win by reviewing this show on iTunes and downloading our free ebook at LandAcademy.com.
If you want to get involved or you need more information about our profitable, niche real estate operation, call 480-467-0359. You just might get Jill at the other end of the line.
LandAcademy.com. You are not alone in your real estate ambition.